Welcome to Mind in the Machine, the show where we explore the crossroads between artificial intelligence and human ingenuity. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a deceptively simple but profoundly important idea: the most effective way to use statistics-based, non-deterministic, probabilistically driven generative AI models, like large language models or LLMs, is not to have them directly perform repetitive tasks. Instead, the key is to have them generate automation or RPA scripts that can execute those tasks deterministically and consistently. That single shift, from letting AI do the work to letting AI create the worker, marks the difference between novelty and true productivity. Let's unpack this. Generative AI models like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini are inherently probabilistic. When they produce text, code, or images, they do so by predicting the next most likely token or pattern based on statistical distributions learned from vast amounts of data. They're brilliant at improvisation, creativity, and interpretation, but they are not deterministic systems. That means if you ask an AI model to perform the same task multiple times, you may get slightly different outputs. Even with temperature settings lowered to near zero, subtle variations can appear. In contexts like writing or brainstorming, that variability is a feature. It introduces creativity and serendipity. But in automation, variability is a flaw. When you're dealing with repetitive workflows, say, extracting structured data from invoices, logging into systems, sending reports, or testing software, you need precision. The same input should always yield the same output. That's the foundation of reliability in software engineering. So here's the paradox. Generative AI, by design, is flexible and non-deterministic, yet repetitive work demands rigidity and determinism. How do we reconcile these opposing forces? The answer is to let the AI become the architect of determinism rather than its executor. When you prompt an LLM to write an RPA script, say in Python, Power Automate, or UiPath, it translates your probabilistic intent into deterministic code. That code then executes reliably, with the same outcome every time. In effect, you're using a non-deterministic system to produce a deterministic system. Think of it like this: a human artist sketches a blueprint for a robot arm, and the robot arm performs the same physical motion endlessly. The artist's creativity is used once to define the process. The robot's precision carries it out infinitely. That's how we should be thinking about AI. Let's take an example. Imagine you work in customer service, and part of your daily routine is to extract order details from emails and enter them into a CRM system. Traditionally, you might use an RPA platform to record those steps or manually code the automation, but now you can ask an LLM to do it for you. Generate a Python script using Selenium that reads the sender's email, extracts the order ID, and inputs it into Salesforce. The model then generates a deterministic script that will run exactly the same way each time. You might fine-tune or verify it, but once validated, the script no longer relies on AI's probabilistic reasoning. It runs as pure logic. Over time, you can extend this concept into entire workflows. The AI becomes your automation engineer, designing deterministic agents that operate across business systems. And because the scripts are explainable and inspectable, you gain transparency that you would never get from letting the AI directly handle transactions or decisions. This approach also addresses one of the biggest risks in generative AI adoption: reproducibility. When AI outputs are used directly, say to generate daily reports, code snippets, or customer replies, small inconsistencies can creep in. Those inconsistencies are difficult to audit or debug because they stem from probabilistic processes. But when the AI writes automation code that you then run in a deterministic environment, every execution is traceable and repeatable. In short, you separate creation from execution. You use the creativity of the AI once to build a reliable machine, and then let the machine do the repeatable work. Beyond the technical elegance, there's also an organizational advantage. This strategy lets humans stay in the loop as supervisors, validators, and designers of intent. You prompt the AI, review its script, and approve its logic before deployment. That keeps accountability intact while still capturing the massive productivity boost of AI-assisted development. In industries where compliance, accuracy, and consistency are non-negotiable, like finance, healthcare, and manufacturing, this distinction is crucial. The AI can brainstorm and code, but the deterministic system must execute. The future of automation isn't about replacing every human keystroke with a chatbot. It's about creating layers: AI at the creative layer, humans at the oversight layer, and deterministic code at the execution layer. We often talk about AI as if it were magic, an oracle that answers any question and performs any task. But real power comes from understanding its nature. Generative AI is statistical, not certain, imaginative, not mechanical. When we respect that difference, and align its probabilistic strengths with deterministic systems, we unlock the best of both worlds. So, the next time you're tempted to have an AI directly perform a repetitive task, remember this principle: do not make the AI the worker. Make it the engineer who designs the worker. Let the machine imagine once, and then let the code perform forever. That is how probability becomes precision. Thank you for listening to Mind in the Machine. If you enjoyed today's episode, consider subscribing for more explorations of how technology, logic, and creativity intersect in our evolving digital world. Until next time, stay curious, stay critical, and keep building systems that last.